So, the death battle, Bowser vs. Eggman came out. And obviously, since it's a disagreement video, I have some problems with the analysis, not so much the animation, because that battle, that was awesome. That was like one of the best death battles I ever seen. It was like 10 out of 10, maybe 11 out of 10. Uh, both sides were depicted so well. Like Bowser looked awesome, and everything he did was like awesome. And Eggman was still awesome too. Just didn't do as awesome as Bowser. I mean, it's Bowser though, because like he's just awesome, more awesome than Eggman, obviously. Um, but I still have a problem with the analysis a little bit. Now it's not like how Mario versus Sonic, where I kind of like completely disagreed with it. I was just like did not see how Mario became the victor. This is more like when I talked about Knuckles versus Donkey Kong. I was like, well, Donkey Kong can still beat Knuckles, but I still think Knuckles will take more victories. And that's how I feel about this. I think Eggman would win more often than not. Not by much though. It's like probably 60% of the time. So I still agree that like Bowser can beat Eggman. Like Bowser just got so much power and so many abilities. Of course he can find a victory somehow. But the way that the battle was, at least the way I seen it as, it didn't really seem like the intelligence mattered all that much. And we know like Eggman has superior intelligence, and they said that too at the very end, right? But it didn't seem like they analyzed that side too much. Um, like obviously they brought it up, so they thought about it, but it didn't play that big a role. And that's because they had other categories that Bowser won at, and Bowser had like majority of the categories, winning. So when you think about it that way, it's like, of course Bowser's gonna win. He's got all these categories where he's victorious in, and if you have more categories that you win at, you should be the victor. But sometimes it requires a little more depth, like a little more thought put into it. Not saying that they don't like think about their battles, but I feel like they just simply overlooked the intelligence and how big a play it would actually matter in this battle. That's because of the difference in intelligence, like how vast it is, right? Eggman's a genius who's a manipulator and makes traps for people to put himself in a better position to win. And like Bowser's like the exact opposite. He puts himself into positions where he's gonna lose by like falling for traps. And then sometimes he even sets those traps himself. So I feel like there'd be a lot for Eggman to capitalize on to win the battle. And I could just leave it there. That's kind of what I had to. I made a short, and that's kind of why I just left it at. But I'm gonna go in a little more in depth with everything else, all the other categories, and why they don't matter as much, or why I guess the category is kind of wrong about what Death Battle said, or not necessarily wrong, but just a little different from how they viewed it. Starting with the stats. The stats, I think the stats is the best one they analyzed. I mean, there could be other feats that I'm just not looking at. I don't know any off the top of my head for either of them. Bowser had what, the castle feat, Eggman's death egg laser, not the death egg, was it the death egg? Yeah, the death egg robot laser. Bowser was considered stronger there. The speed's kind of irrelevant. I think the calculation they gave in the show itself had Bowser slightly faster, but at the end of the day, I think they had it even in a little box. It's just kind of like they can both be scaled to like irrelevant speed or something like that, and that makes sense because they can both time travel. So, yeah, but the was it the durability? Bowser's was higher. Um, but then they went to like a final strength feat and brought up uh Eggman's final egg laser from like the Death Egg, the like the space station, like his space station. I don't remember if it was the Death Egg or whatever. But yeah, they brought up that instead it could destroy stars, and then said, "Oh well, Bowser should be able to get up there because Yoshi can make star. Well, yeah, make stars by like hitting someone so hard." And this is why I have one problem with the stats because Yoshi, when he destroyed that enemy, I just looked over just to make sure. Like when he destroyed that enemy, he made a singular star, and yeah, it's like the bird itself had like an outline of it, but if you look at the other outline, the outline wasn't using the stars. It's just, you know how constellations are. They point out a few stars and say, if you draw a line here, it kind of looks like this object. That's what the constellation was, and they only used one star. So Yoshi only would scale to like destroying one star in that regard. And like, yeah, you can say Bowser's stronger, but you can't say how much stronger versus Eggman destroying stars. And I wanted to put like an actual calculation on this. Um, it's hard to say because it doesn't say an amount of stars, right? But he said, look at those stars over there. They're destroyed. So that means what he can visibly see is all destroyed, right? So, and the most stars you can see at once, I think I did a quick lookup. I mean, I could be wrong. Someone could probably do better calculation, but it's like 1,500. That was like the lowest I think I seen with like no other light blocking out like street lights or anything like that, and that would be obvious because he's in space, so there's no light pollution, right? So he's clearly got a pretty good view of how many stars he's looking at. So yeah, that's 1,500 stars. That's like that actually would be around, depending on how much each star, the mass of each star, that actually would be enough to destroy, like go over Bowser's durability. Like I said, depending on how many stars and how massive they was, but it should be enough to like take down Bowser's maximum durability. Originally, the original the original numbers they gave for like the power output would not be enough to take either of them out. So that's why I'm bringing up the star feat and trying to like put an actual number on it. And I'm not just gonna leave Bowser in the dust here. Bowser should have like the same amount of power actually above his above what Death Battle, the number Death Battle gave. I mean, they actually did say he could scale to Yoshi in that regard, but it should be the same as the black hole durability that he survived because I think he would be the one creating that black hole, like he would have to be, because no other, unless he just transported the Mario gang to a different location, which he could do that too. But other than that, there's no reason why there'd be a black hole there unless he was the one like creating it, right? So he should have like the same power. So stats kind of equal out. I guess Bowser still has more durability, but that can kind of equal out or give Eggman more depending on like if you scale him to supersonic because his machines can fight against supersonic certain ones. So yeah. Um but then they went over the abilities and the abilities equaled out too basically, but they said Bowser has the advantage because he has them at all time. Eggman has to do it across different ships. Now I don't know if Eggman has a specific ship that can basically do everything every old battleship he has, but even if he doesn't, he has the egg robos that can pilot his mechs too, and then like Sage can take control of mechs, so there's no reason why he would only be able to there's no reason why he would only need to use one at a time or have to switch. He could have multiple egg robos because he has multiple ones pilot a whole bunch of different machines at the same time, so he can have all his like big final boss mechs all at once, right? So like you could still give Bowser the advantage, but it's like such a small advantage that like doesn't really matter. And then the intelligence comes in. So since they basically equal out in that stuff, who the person who would win is the one who can utilize all that stuff better, and that would be Eggman because he has the more intelligence. And that's even the same thing with the what was it, the win conditions, the like maximum um final, the most powerful items, right? The Grand Stars, the Chaos Emeralds, Phantom Ruby, the freaking the Dream Stones, whatever. All those overpowered items, they all equaled out. Basically, that's what Death Battle came to. It's like, yeah, well, you might say that some are stronger than others in certain ways, whatever. But they basically equal out. I can agree with that. Um, but like I said, it depends on who's gonna use that stuff better. So like, yeah, they're clashing each other. Eggman's gonna see that this forward approach ain't working out. I'm gonna have to switch tactics here if I want to destroy this guy. Bowser's not gonna think about that. Bowser's just gonna try to use more power. Um, so yeah, Eggman Eggman might even like go easy on him at first and bait him into thinking that Bowser's gonna get a killing blow, and then trap him into something where he can like drain Bowser of his energy, because that's something Eggman's known for doing. He did that to Supersonic. He did that in Sonic Lost World 2 when he was draining the world of its energy. So he can weaken his opponents. And if he's able to like stop Supersonic that way, I don't see why he wouldn't be able to stop Bowser. There's no way that like Supersonic isn't equal to Bowser, if not stronger. So he could definitely weaken Bowser. Um, and it's like a trap where Bowser wouldn't be able to escape from if Supersonic can escape from it, because Supersonic can teleport and all that stuff and shoot lasers, or like I guess chaos spears. You know, he can shoot energy projectiles. So if Bowser's trapped in that, he's not going to be able to pull anything out. Like, but yeah, it's an Omi fight, right? So his Omi can help him, and that's another category they analyzed, the Omi, and they ultimately said Bowser's win because Bowser's can work independently and defend each other's weaknesses. But there's no reason why Eggman wouldn't be able to program the machines to work independently. Like the bigger ones can already do that, but his like the normal enemies, the normal badniks, they don't really, they operate kind of all at once. But there's no reason why that wouldn't be a benefit in its own right. Like sometimes moving as an entire unit is better than people individually moving around trying to think about stuff, because they could help each other out, but they might also get in each other's way. Whereas, if you're moving as a whole unit under one programming, that can't happen unless there's like a glitch. Um. So yeah, that's what I feel about the Omi, and none of the Omi really matters except for like the versatility. That's the only thing that really matters, because none of the Eggman's Omi or Bowser's Omi can like match their powers. Like Bowser's the most strongest on his Omi, and can like do everything everyone else can. Like even King Boo, he can reality warp and all that stuff. And then Eggman's like biggest mechs can take down every, like this is stronger and has more utility than anything in his Omi, except for maybe Metal Sonic. When Metal Sonic can like grow to stronger power than Eggman's mechs. Well, maybe I don't know, because Eggman's mech can fight Super Sonic. I was thinking like, oh, Metal Sonic can be strong enough to fight Super Sonic. I was like, well, Eggman can still do that too with his final mech, so it doesn't. So yeah, Eggman's still the strongest one there. Um, yeah, so that's how I feel about the Omi. Um, it should still be like equal, and then even if you say Bowser's is like slightly better, it's not by that much, and that's why I'm saying the intelligence is the main factor, because that's the only wide gap that they have. Yeah, Bowser's team has like magic, and that's kind of hard to deal with, but unless you do some like crazy magic right off from the start, there's no reason why Eggman wouldn't be able to see that and like counter it in some way, or like think of like, okay, I gotta avoid this. And if Eggman has, they have all their super items, right? Like the Phantom Ruby, Castle Modes, those all like magical items. Like the Chaos Emeralds can do anything like a magical gem can do. It's just usually seen as like it's usually used as, you know, like a power boost, but it can do magical things, you know. Um, and I also wanted to bring up that because that was one of the points that Death Battle made. It was it said Bowser can using the Dreamstone can just wish away some like extra powerful being like the Time Eater, not have to deal with him. But whether that would work or not, I don't know if you can just like wish someone out of reality if they can already exist out of reality. Like the Time Eater, that's literally the Time Eater's thing is to like go through reality and like he even was able to access a timeline that was technically destroyed. You know, Sonic 06's timeline was erased, but he's still able to pull from Crisis City. So it's like I don't know if you'd be able to like erase him out of time. I mean, out of existence if he's already doing that. But even if you could argue that for the Chaos Emeralds, Eggman could do the same thing. Like, yeah, you don't see the Chaos Emeralds do that a lot, but it's stated multiple times that the Chaos Emeralds are miracle gems. They can grant wishes. They can turn thoughts into reality. It's like the description all the time, and then you see this happen one time at least. I don't know if there's another time somewhere, maybe in the canon comics, or if there's a game I'm missing. But in Sonic 06, at least does make a wish to bring Sonic back to life. So that's proof that those statements are true. You can make wishes with the Chaos Emerald, so there's no reason why Eggman wouldn't be able to wish Bowser out of existence or some more powerful character. You know, if that stuff does work, because like I said, some of these people can exist outside of reality. So I don't know if the like wishing them out of reality would work. You kind of gotta have to like hit them strong enough to destroy them or kill them or whatever. But and to put this all together as like a final reason why I think Eggman would win, like yeah, the powers are kind of equal. Bowser might have a little more power, whatever. Magic might be a little stronger or whatever, or like a little more useful than Eggman's magic or technology. You know, um, but so Sage, you know. So not only can Eggman think of all these plans himself, he also has Sage to help him run battle simulations. Like a million at a time. I actually don't know how fast it took for her to like run those calculations, but 100 million, or something like that. It was a lot of calculations, right, in a short period of time. So there's no reason why Sage wouldn't be able to think of a winning plan. And I know they brought up, oh, well, Sage was wrong one time, but Sage wasn't wrong. Sage just didn't calculate, you know, she didn't run a certain calculation because she didn't have like Eggman didn't let her or something like that. But once she did run that calculation, and that was the calculation of beating the end, and Sonic was uh trying to tell her that it's possible. Sage said it's impossible. But then when Sage ran the calculation of Sonic and Eggman working together, she said it could happen. So she wasn't wrong. She just didn't ever calculate that because Eggman told her not to. And when she did, she found out the solution to the problem. And there's no reason why she'd be limited in running calculations in the battle against Bowser. um. So yeah, and then they said all the Bowser's army has so many possibilities with all these power-ups. You know, billions of combinations, billions. There's no way Sage can make 100 million, but not billions. But a lot of those combinations are irrelevant. If a Goomba uses a cape feather or a freaking a tail leaf, or I mean a super leaf or a cape feather or whatever like that, any of those like flying power-ups, they all are the same. It's like, okay, so now this character has a flying ability, so it can be marked as the same calculation as if I ran it earlier, right? Um, and that kind of goes for a lot of Mario power-ups. Like I said this in Mario vs. Sonic, but a lot of Mario power-ups are not that like versatile and they're not like that powerful. Like they give you one extra ability and you may or may not already have that ability. So it doesn't it doesn't really like benefit the army that much or give that much different versatility, different possibilities, you know? And then Kamek comes in as like the big player, right? They said Kamek's busted, and I kind of agree. You know, Kamek's magic can do a lot of crazy stuff. But the problem with it, if we're thinking about it from the the Mario Party abilities. Those are the most busted ones, right? And maybe the ones in RPG. I don't know really how they work. I think they might work on like a still random mechanic, but the ones in Mario Party, like Chance Time, definitely run on, um, um, definitely run on luck, right? So Kamek could run Chance Time and switch Eggman's items to Bowser and give him a benefit, or it could happen the other way. Kamek might switch like the Grand Stars or the Dreamstone, give it to Eggman's team. So it could work either way. It's like a 50-50. And if you're arguing that Kamek is just playing by the game's rules, Kamek can just automatically switch the items over or like cancel other people's abilities. Just like do that without activating the luck factor. Kamek still has to be able to have time to pull this off, because whenever you see chance time happen or anything like that, you know the thing's spinning or the magic doesn't happen instantly, right? So in that time, any of Eggman's stronger machines can easily take Kamek out. Kamek is not a durable opponent. Kamek has to stay in the background and stuff and make sure he's not getting hit. But and yeah, Kamek can teleport. Kamek's kind of tricky, but a lot of these other Eggman's robots, they can also teleport, and they're also very fast, so there's no reason why they wouldn't be able to catch Kamek. And the other thing is, if Sage is running all those simulations and sees Sage is obviously going to see that Kamek is going to be a major threat in all of these scenarios. There's going to be a lot of scenarios where it's like, oh, Kamek did this, Kamek did that. Sage is automatically going to pick up, hey, Kamek needs to be taken out like in the beginning. This person has to be taken out or we're probably going to lose, right? So there's no reason why they wouldn't aim for Kamek and try to take Kamek out. And the only people that could protect Kamek is like Bowser or something. And like, yeah, they work as a team, but Bowser has not cared about like attacking Kamek before. Like anytime Bowser grows big in the castle, he jumps up and immediately destroys Kamek. So he's not. I don't think he's gonna be that worried at least not at first. But then maybe he might be like, oh well, I actually kind of need Kamek. But I think there'll be enough like time between him realizing he needs Kamek and Eggman's team trying to destroy Kamek to, you know, for them to take Kamek out, right? Especially since Bowser's not going to immediately understand what Eggman's strategy is. Like, he's a genius. He's not gonna. Eggman is not gonna make it obvious that Kamek's being targeted, right? He's probably gonna send a missile at Bowser, right? And then Bowser's gonna like think that Eggman just missed, and then it's just gonna hit Kamek, and then Kamek's gonna be dead, right? It's stuff like that that makes me think that Eggman's gonna take the victory, because there's just so many scenarios where that's gonna happen. Like, Eggman will pull out a strategy like that to destroy the most powerful of Bowser's army and then take down Bowser himself by baiting him or tricking him or something of those scenarios, right? And I can't really see that not happening, especially with Sage. Like, that's the main thing going on in my head. Like, Sage, if Sage is given all these possibilities, there's no reason why Eggman would not be able to capitalize on it. No one on Bowser's team is going to see any of this coming. I don't think any of them are strategists except for Kamek. Maybe King Boo. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I know this is kind of long, but I just wanted to make it clear on why Eggman would probably be victorious more often than not. This intelligence thing goes way, it plays a way bigger factor than you would think. And like I said, it's because Bowser's known for being tricked, Eggman's known for tricking people, and their powers are near equal. Like, everything else is almost the exact same. Bowser might have a slight advantage, but there's no reason why Eggman with Sage would not be able to think about all this stuff at the same time.